Okay. All right. Weird being on film, isn't it? Okay. Hi, Jordan. I'm Kathleen.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, give me a little bit of history about your golf game and that good stuff.
I just started playing golf within the past year.
Okay.
And there's a golf course where I work. So.
Yeah. Where do you work?
I work at Copper Mountain.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yay. Are you a big skier?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there snow up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
But I decided to come golfing today.
Okay, yay, because it's like 60 degrees in Denver. Okay. And have you ever had any lessons?
Never had a lesson before.
Wow, so you're totally kind of raw and rank. Okay,
Yep.
cool. And also, what besides skiing, what other things do you like to do? Sports-wise.
Sports-wise, I guess I ski 10 months out of the year, so that kind of fills up a lot of my time.
I'm so sorry that you get to ski 10 months out of the year. Now, do you have any physical limitations? You pretty strong, or?
Yeah, I guess nothing that affects my golf game.
Nothing that affects your golf game?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you do up at Copper?
I build terrain parks, so half pipes, jumps,
cool.
rails, yeah.
So I'm just gonna maybe guess that you're probably pretty visual, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so that's really cool. That's really cool up at Copper. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me, but no physical limitations. So pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I want to take a look at your equipment real quick. So where did you get your equipment?
These are my brother's clubs.
Okay, awesome.
But he bought a new pair this year, so.
He gave you his hand-me-downs.
Yep.
I love that you have persimmon woods in here. That's awesome. Probably won't use them that much.
Nope.
Okay. So these are older clubs. I would say, you know, for probably where you are, is still kind of being a newer golfer. Like, it's fine. We're going to kind of talk about what we want to do today, and then, you know, kind of a long-term goal. And as you become a better player, you will probably want to invest in some clubs that fit you.
Definitely the plan.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's just kind of talk a little bit about your golf swing, and kind of tell me what's going on. And, you know, coming to see me today, what would be maybe one thing that you would want to accomplish?
I guess I have a habit of topping the ball a lot.
Okay.
So whether it's just somewhere in my swing, am I standing up, or,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
just the correct posture for, you know, finishing off the swing.
So obviously when you top it, the ball doesn't go up in the air, it's low and it rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. So for today, kind of let's talk a little bit about like to set goals, right? So short-term goal would be hitting it more consistently, and in your mind it would be not topping it.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we don't top the ball, we're always going to get a little bit more distance and ball flight trajectory. Okay. Now, as far as kind of a long-term goal with you as a golfer, if or and when we, you know, accomplish the goal of you not topping it, how would that kind of help you in the future?
It's just having my game a little bit more, you know, predictable.
Yeah.
There's not as many, you know, you're just being more confident in difficult shots and stuff like that. Or just a normal shot on the fairway.
Yeah.
Just feeling more confident.
So kind of long-term goal, I mean, confidence is a huge thing. When we're hitting the ball well and around, as our confidence goes up, we play better. So short-term, we're going to try to find the center of the face more, right? Get the ball up in the air. And then once we accomplish that, we'll kind of do some drills. We'll talk a little bit about some different drills and things that you can do to implement, kind of maybe if it's a new setup, I don't know quite yet. And then we'll kind of tie that in at the end with your long-term goals. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so as far as, you know, the only club in here that or actually the two clubs I might take out of your bag since you're still kind of new is your 3 and your 4.
Actually, I tee off with my 3 all the time.
Okay, so you don't, well, that's because you don't have a driver.
Yeah,
okay. So that's okay. You
Yeah.
can tee off with your 3. But as far as like one of your irons for today's lesson, what would be like one of your favorite like lower irons, like a 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, I guess my game uses my 5 and my 9 a lot.
Okay. So maybe your 9? You start with your 9?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
let's try the 8.
We'll try the 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. This is actually a good club to actually start with, especially just to kind of get an idea of how well you hit the ball. The 5 iron, 4 iron, the longer clubs are definitely harder for you to be more consistent. So we'll go ahead and start with the 8.
All right.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm going to move these out of the way. All right. Okay. Now, as far as warming up, since you ski, do you do any stretches or anything before?
Not
Okay.
Not a lot before golf.
Okay, I'm going to show you a couple, because do you snowboard or do you ski?
I ski.
Okay, cool. Yay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a skier too. I actually telly, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things I love to do are some hip openers, kind of putting your, right ankle on top of your left knee. Okay. And you can always use your club if you want, and this really kind of helps to see where your balance is, so opening up your hips. And then maybe switch. It's always good to stretch. Do you stretch before you ski?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime, like, people don't think golf requires a lot of energy, but there's a lot of moving parts. So I say hips, maybe hamstrings, good. Forward fold is good. If you haven't practiced yoga, I would definitely recommend it for skiing. Maybe like a quad stretch kind of thing. Whoa, my balance. Good. Switch.
There's the bad knee.
Oh, so you have a bad knee.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about that.
But it doesn't bother me a whole lot.
Okay, what's bad? What did you do?
ACL, femur, tibia.
ACL, femur, and tibia.
Yeah.
What did you do? Like?
Just overshooting jumps. Just going too far.
Did you fracture your tibia?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had surgery and?
Yeah, tibia, ACL, and then a year later fractured, or femur, ACL, and then a year later fractured tibia.
Okay, so does it bother you when you ski?
No, not really.
And doesn't bother you when you play golf?
Nope, only when there's a storm moving in.
Oh, okay. Good to know. You didn't mention that before, but if for some reason it does start to bother you, let me know. But yeah, definitely warming up the knee and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to give you a ball.
All right.
Okay. And I just want you to do, what you normally do. Right. And I'm just going to observe you for a minute or so, okay? Go ahead and set up. Oh! That was a great shot. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rank that one?
I got sand in my eyes.
You got sand in your eyes. Okay. Let's try it again.
Right.
There was no thin action going on with that one. Your time. Do you have a target?
Just kind of aiming like around the green and white.
So the green and white out there. Okay.
Yeah,
do you know how far you hit your 8?
If I'm 150 yards out, I'll use my 8 or my 9.
Okay. So and your tail's probably getting to that. Okay. Let's try it again.
All right.
Ah, there we go. So that's the fin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it gets worse from there.
So, okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about why you hit the ball thin. And obviously, knowing with the club, when you hit the ball thin, you're hitting it down here. This is called the leading edge of the club.
Okay.
Obviously, you hit some really great shots, right? It's always easier when you're on the driving range. And these clubs have a pretty big sweet spot. So generally, when you hit the ball thin, it's because the club is probably moving up or you're a little bit taller. Your setup is pretty good, but I think what we're going to do today to create a little bit more consistent trajectory and being able to hit the center of the face is we're going to start with your setup first. And the reason why this is so important, and I love that you ski because I'm a skier too, and there's a lot of crossovers to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to stand back there and basically just maybe stand right over here so you can kind of look at me from down the line. So when you address the ball, right now you're a little hunched. Okay. See my spine? Okay. So similar to skiing, right? You're hinging at your hips and your sternum is forward. Okay. So when we're rounded like this and I go to try to turn, generally I might pull up or my hips, because I'm rounding, may move back. So if I move back in my heels, I'm probably going to do what?
Stand up.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Okay, skiing. I love this that you're a skier. Is when we ski downhill, we want all of our energy moving forward downhill, right, to get a lot of power and speed. It's the same thing in golf. So when I set up, I want to hinge at my hips, I want to put my weight toward the balls of my feet, and I want my sternum over the golf ball. So that as I turn, I can actually turn at more of my hip joint rather than trying to turn at the waist. Because again, anytime you kind of tuck your tailbone or your booty under, you're going to lean back. Okay? So that being said, we're going to kind of create a little bit of a pre-shot routine for you where, and especially being a newer golfer, I don't know if this might come up for you, you know, are you too far, are you too close to the ball? And I don't know if you feel comfortable. Part of feeling confident is being comfortable, right? So perhaps today, part of the drill that we're going to do is, you know, put your feet together, set the club next to the ball. Now come over here for a moment. I want to show you the position of the club face. And we can actually move this. Okay. So these lines right here, okay, you always want those to be perpendicular to your target line, okay? The target line is always the line in front of the golf ball. Okay, so I'm going to set the club down. We haven't really talked about target because I'm actually going to work a little bit with you on aim and line. Your feet are parallel to your target line, and really the butt of the club is about an inch from your body. Okay. You're going to put your feet apart. Same thing in skiing. Hips back, sternum forward, and you want your arms to hang naturally. Okay. So this is going to allow you to keep your sternum forward, because generally what happens on the backswing is if we're rounding, I might move back. So as I keep the hips back, the sternum is going to stay forward. And then finish. Okay? All right, so let's try it.
An inch away.
Yeah, and you just want this, the leading edge to always be flush to the ground, so I just can put the tip of my finger underneath the toe. Okay, good. Grip looks good. Feet apart. Soften your knees and just think about sticking your, it's really like you're sticking your butt out, but I don't want you to feel it in your lower back. But then, Jordan, make sure your weight is towards more the balls of your feet than your heels, much like skiing. Okay? So shift your weight forward. There you go. Okay, that's okay. And if you want, let's just do a couple practice swings, maybe just practicing skimming the grass.
Okay.
Feet apart. Now ball position with most of your mid-irons is always going to be in the middle, which it looks pretty good. Okay. So flex the knees and stick the butt out and sternum forward. There you go. Good. Okay. So what might be good for you is to practice skimming the grass so you know that the leading edge of the club is getting down. Okay? So try it again. Hips back, sternum forward. Weight toward the balls of your feet. One more time. Okay. Swing easy. Try not to swing hard. Just extend your arms down on the golf ball. Nice and easy. Okay. Let's try. I'm going to have you clip the tee.
Okay.
And this is another drill, and we'll kind of talk about this. I'm going to give you a couple drills that you can kind of walk away with. So your goal, I mean the ground is a little hard, but your goal is to clip the tee. So start with your little setup again. Hips back, sternum forward, weight toward the balls of your feet. Good. Nice and easy. There you go. Awesome. So you broke the tee. So that's telling me that you're getting the leading edge of the club to the bottom of your swing. Okay? All right, so now let's try it without the tee.
All right.
And just kind of reiterate a little bit about your setup. You can kind of tell me a little bit about, maybe just kind of walk me through it.
Make sure the club face is level on the ground.
Yep.
About an inch away. Knees bent.
All right. That was awesome. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank that?
I'd say good 7 to 8.
Good 7 and 8? Okay, so we're going to take about 7 golf balls. And this is how we're going to measure it. The only way we can know if we're getting any success is to measure this stuff, right? So we're going to take 7 balls. And out of those 7 balls, what would make you happy to get how many balls up in the air and knots in out of 7?
5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay. Now what I want you to do before each one though, just from a drill perspective too, is to do your little routine where you skim the grass and then step in and strike the golf ball.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just going to help you hips back, sternum forward, weight toward the balls of your feet, swing down, belly to your target.
Okay.
And then we'll hit the golf ball.
All
Okay?
right.
All right, so 1. Let me count the balls here.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got 1, in the bag, which was your first one. And how do you know when you've had a pretty good golf shot?
When the ball goes somewhere good.
Yeah. And you know, I kind of figured that when you told me what you did for a living as far as visual. Okay, good. Take your time. Okay, so I'm going to get behind you, look down the line. All right, beautiful. How'd that feel?
Good.
Good. Okay, that's 2. Take your time. Do your best to skim the ground. You don't have to do it again, but just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, we're off to a good start. That's 3. And you're even getting even though the ground is hard, you're getting a little bit of a divot, which is awesome.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Do your little practice one more time, just to create consistency. Okay. You're a quick learner! Okay, we got 3 more. So tell me, just give me a little bit of feedback as far as what feels different.
I'm thinking about knees and the hips.
Okay, is it bothering your back?
No,
Okay,
it actually, it's just something that I never thought about before.
Yeah.
So it's adding a little structure into.
Yeah. And posture, I mean, it's so similar to skiing. Like, it's so important in the golf swing that we maintain that good posture. And you're athletic, which really helps. Okay, let's just do one more.
All right.
That was about 5 in a row. That was awesome. Now, have you ever hit that many in a row without hitting them thin?
Not that. Nothing, just going to the same spot every time.
Yay, for going to the same spot. Okay, let's try one more.
All right.
Okay, do your little routine. There, nice skimming of the grass. That was great. It wasn't as good, but so generally what's going to happen is, and I don't know if that actually, your misses will start to improve, right? So as part of the short-term goal, I think we accomplished that, and a lot of it was pretty much your setup, which is, it's kind of an easy fix. I mean, obviously there's other things that we can always work on, but I think, the most important thing is, everybody comes to me and says they want to be more consistent. So the more you can kind of practice this. So part of maybe when you go out and play next time, part of you can even do a drill when you play. I say that lightly, but a couple of drills. One that we did is maybe just practice. And it's a little late in the season, but maybe the summer. Really practice trying to just clip the tee out of the ground, because that's going to tell you what about
if I'm getting close to the ground, if I'm going to be skimming the grass.
Yeah, and part of that is your posture, right? So that's the one thing. And then the second thing is I'm not a big fan of a lot of practice swings, but I think every student or every player should have like a pre-shot routine. So you might consider, here, let me give you a hug, is, maybe doing your little practice routine, maybe, start with your feet. And again, this is what you can do when you're playing. And then just, skim the ground. You don't have to swing hard or fast. Then step in and commit to your shot. Because I prefer, from a lesson perspective, this is a nice drill to say, hey, skim the ground each time so you can get a good feel for that. when you go out and play, perhaps get behind the ball, or not perhaps, generally always get behind the ball so you can find a target. And you were really kind of hovering around that, kind of in between the blue and the white, which was good. Find your target and then kind of step in and swing at it. So short term, I think we definitely accomplished the goals. You had some really good shots. And then as far as long term, what do you think that's going to do to your game long term?
I guess better posture is going to lead to more consistent shots. And I'll start figuring out how to use my other clubs.
You'll start, yeah. And I think, what was the other thing that you kind of said at the beginning?
Yeah, just no.
You had said something about feeling more confident.
Yeah, the whole confident.
Yeah, and that I just, two of the things that I always tell a lot of people is, when we're confident, we are truly more consistent. So those kind of can be your little mantras per se. And then any questions for me as far as the lesson, any feedback you have for me?
I guess that was one thing I was missing in the short time I've been playing golf is, figuring out the posture, thinking about that more instead of, just walking up to the ball and trying to hit it.
Okay.
Like getting a routine going before every shot.
And does that seem like something that's easy for you to incorporate?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Moving forward?
Exactly,
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
You did great. Okay, cool.